Hi everybody, it's me Willow and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back with another fun video for all of you guys, and today I'm going to be reviewing Park Chan-wook's newest film, No Other Choice. I was very lucky to be able to attend the Forest City Film Festival in London, Ontario back at the beginning of November, and I was able to catch No Other Choice there. It was so incredible. Honestly, one of my favorite films of 2025. I believe I currently have it in my third, either in the second or third place spot. I think it's in the second place. It's just so well done. I am such a big fan of the execution and the style. I think it was so masterfully done and like thought of from Park Chan-wook. I am such a big fan of this film, and I think everybody, once you get the chance to go see it when it comes wide at Christmas time, you should definitely run to the theaters. This is one you don't want to miss. Being able to see it up on the big screen is such a joy, and with the threat to movie theaters with like Netflix and the Warner Brother acquisition that's happening right now, I just really want to encourage people to go out and watch movies at the cinema. This one is something that you need to see on the big screen. I am just so impressed from Lee Byung-hun. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He is such a star in this film. He really retains the energy throughout the entire length of the film, and this is a little bit of a longer film on the 2.5 hour mark point. So be prepared. I had a drink and snacks, and just being immersed into this film with this man who's struggling to be this provider. And I think from like a cultural aspect is also very interesting as well, because there's this one scene after Lee Byung-hun's character Yo Man-soo is fired from his paper company along with a lot of other male providers too. They go to this kind of like therapy session with this counselor in the room, and basically trying to lead them through these breathing exercises, saying you are good men even though you are failing to provide for your families. And it's just such a contradictory of these men having achieved so much and providing so much to these companies, like not just the paper industry, but you can kind of use this as like a symbolism to capitalism, what's happening in the world right now with the economy, people not being able to get jobs. Like, even myself outside of YouTube, I have 5 part-time jobs just trying to make it by, and I have a bachelor's degree. I went to university. I had an honors program. I made the dean's list. I had several recommendations from professors. Like, you would think somebody at the top of their class would be able to get a full-time job, but with where we are in the world right now, it is really difficult for people who have even been in the industry for decades, like Yu Monsung, and he is just so trapped in this capitalist world of trying to make these advancements towards artificial intelligence, that his humanist and like moral like ability to be able to make certain choices towards compassion rather than monetary value is seen as a negative. So he's pushed out, he's forced to try and still be this provider because of this cultural aspect in South Korea of trying to maintain this image. And you can even say this in the Western world too. When you are fired, people really do put this judgment on you of not being able to get back on your feet like quick enough. Like, if you don't have a job within a certain time frame, you are seen as like a loser. You are judged so hard rather than society being judged. And I think Park Chan-wook really delivers this mission statement to the fullest in this film. I'm just so impressed by this narrative being able to take place in 2025. Like, I know a lot of people have compared this film to Parasite, and yes, it does have a similar, quality, but I think this film is more unique because it's taking like it's really diving into the upper class and them having to deal with falling on hard times, whereas Parasite is more looking at like the middle lower class on hard times, really not being able to make any advancements in their life with the contradictory of the upper class family that they end up working for. Whereas in this film, it's the upper class trying to hold on to that wealth, that memories. Like there's this house that Yu Man Sung, I feel like I'm pronouncing his character's name incorrect too, so I'm very sorry. I apologize. I'm trying my best. I cannot have the South Korean accent. I am very, very poor at the pronunciation. But the house Yu Man So's family is being raised in is also the house that he grew up in, and he has a very, like, a big connection towards his father because his father ended up committing suicide in the barn that was on the property, and that barn has now been transformed into a greenhouse that Yu Man-son uses quite often in the film. So there's this reflecting of trying not to lose what they have and what they've worked towards their whole life, and rather than, downsizing from the house like his wife suggests, they are so stuck on, or he is rather so stuck on keeping this facade, keeping this class that they have achieved, rather than downsizing to like a smaller apartment because that would be what they'd be able to afford. And it's really more Yu Men Ray. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I don't think I am. Played by Son Yoo-jin, is the one that's really pushing the family to make this transition. She says we have to get rid of the dogs because we can't feed extra mouths. We have to cancel Netflix because that's a luxury. We can't do our extracurriculars anymore because they just take up too much money. And she says and really pushes that they should downsize into a smaller apartment. And she even picks up an extra job. And Yo Man So is just so against this. He doesn't even want to go for an interview at the same dental place that his wife's been able to get a job at. He's just so stuck in his way of trying to get his job back at the paper company. And that's what leads him to really shift his morals. And I think that's what I grasped on to most to this film is the shift of morals that Lee Byung-hun's character makes throughout, because there's this very distinct scene at the beginning of the film when his paper company is being like acquired by an American company, and they have to make all these layoffs because they're trying to work towards artificial intelligence, and they just don't see the use to all of these like men who have been in this company for decades and put their lives into this company and really depend on their paychecks. And Lee Byung-hun's character Yu goes to this American like CEO and really tries to bargain with him and says that these men's lives are more important than money, this business, artificial intelligence. And he completely does like a 180 to the end of the film with those morals. And I think you are kind of caught at a crossroads because you do feel for Yu Man Sung a lot because he has suffered at the hands of this capitalist regime, not being able to acquire a job in his field despite his skills because of the competition. He faces all of these men who are also in the same struggle of losing their job, losing their reputation, not being able to be the provider for their families, falling either into a depression or trying to get another job to provide for their children. So you're caught in this crossroads because you're like, I understand the sacrifices that Yu Man Sung has to make in order to get up in the ladder in this system, but the way that he goes about it is just so like morally against his character and who he was at the beginning, that you're just like, he has transformed into this like evil conniving character, and is he any better than like that American CEO who made all that layoffs in the beginning of the film? I think it's such a fascinating question to really see where Yu Man Sung is at the end of the film compared to where he is at the beginning of the film, and just all the stuff that transpires in the middle is just so fascinating, and I am just so impressed by this film, and I'm really upset that it's not getting more hype. I'm hoping it's starting to garner up now that it got a couple awards at the Golden Globes. We got Lee Byung-hun as Best Leading Actor in a Comedy Musical, so happy for him. We also got international feature, or like, sorry, non-English language feature for Golden Globes, and we also got Best Comedy Drama. So I'm just so happy for this film. I really hope it maybe picks up like screenplay or director, because I think Park Chan-wook, like I said in the beginning, just is a mastermind with this film. There are points of this film that I'm not like gravitated towards the most. I wouldn't say this is like my number one pick of the year. I wasn't as emotionally moved by it compared to like Sinners, but as a film, as cinema, this film is like almost perfect. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's so dynamic and complex, but just articulated in such a brilliant and like A-lister way. It's just, who is doing cinema like this other than Park Chan-wook? Like, the saturation, the different cinematography levels. There's this one scene where Yu Man Sung is kind of higher up on this like earth level, and we have like this really beautiful house in the background, and then there's kind of like these set of stairs, and we have like different levels to the cinematography, and different characters like on this level with the stairs, and you have this huge wide shot so you can see everything. And who's doing that? Like, I'm just saying, like, who is prioritizing making their films look this cinematically beautiful? Who's prioritizing getting a film that should be seen on the big screen? I just think this film really needs to be recognized, needs to be awarded. It is such a beautifully crafted film, and I just hope more people are able to see it when it goes wide at Christmas time, because it really does deserve it. I also really enjoy the performances from the children actors in this film as well. I think from the brother and the sister, they both play very poignant parts in the film, with the brother kind of reflecting off of his parents' behavior, and he ends up getting in some trouble in the film that leads to kind of this like metaphor with an apple tree in their backyard, and like the things that the son also sees, like he sees his father committing certain crimes, and because of that he ends up kind of getting corrupted by his father and makes these poor choices. But with like this metaphor of the apple tree like flourishing because of these consequences, these like evil deeds, I love all the metaphors that go onto the sun, and how it's just so reflective of who Lee Bon-hung's character kind of transforms into, and it's almost like a mirror of what the son could possibly turn into as he grows older and becomes more into that stereotypical male provider role. So I'm very fascinated by that, and I think the daughter is also so intriguing. I kind of assumed that she might have been on the spectrum and was this like child prodigy with her cello playing. And I kind of take the last scene with the daughter to be almost like a confirmation that everything Yu Man Song did was for the ultimate good, because his daughter is able to open up, she's able to succeed with her talent, she's going to have a successful career in the future, because he was able to get his job back and provide for her lessons after doing all the heinous things that he does in this film. So that's what I took from the end of the film. I also watched somebody else's review where they kind of saw that the daughter was like the moral compass of the film. She's the only one in the film doing something not for gain for herself. She's just doing it for like pleasure. She's not trying to one up anybody. It's society that's pushing her into that box to be this prodigy. So I think that's also a very interesting analysis of the ending too. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the ending of the film. I'm trying to leave it like vague and not give too many spoilers for you guys because I do think this is a film that you should go in like completely blind. I didn't know too much about it. I knew just like the basic synopsis of what happens with Yoo Sung's character, but besides that, I didn't know much about it, and I think that's the way it should be. You really should go in blind and just try to take all of it in. It really is just such a fascinating film. I really do think the writing is top notch. I love the narration of playing into this rising conversation of AI. I was at this conference working the event, and it was for this really big banking company in Canada, and they are mentioning how in the next year they're about to invest $1 billion into AI. And I was just sitting there working my minimum wage job thinking this is insanity, and seeing no other choice and seeing that kind of reflected as well is just so scary for our reality, if I'm being honest. Or like the other day, I went to the self-checkout, and after I checked everything out, I put my gloves over to the side because it's really cold here in Canada right now. So I had my gloves over to the side because I was about to pay, and it made me get the assistant for cashier to come over, and it replayed the video of me putting my gloves over to the side. So we are literally just in like George Orwell world right now, and it's flippin' scary. But I think artists like Park Chan-wook trying to push this narrative out as a warning call for us to recognize that we are falling into this capitalist regime is so powerful, and you guys just should really go see No Other Choice. I just think it's visually so stunning. It's also really funny. It's more of a black comedy, like the jokes with having to cancel the Netflix subscription and the son being like, okay, may I be excused from dinner so I can go finish all the seasons of my show before we cancel Netflix. It's just so hilarious. And then there's like this one scene with like oven mitts, and we just keep seeing more oven mitts be revealed until like Chekhov's gun, and it's just really, really smartly done. That's all I have to say. It's such a cinematic journey, and there's not a whole lot of films like that in 2025. I would say like No Other Choice, Sinners, It Was Just an Accident. Those are maybe one or two other films that really do bring you on a journey in cinema, but No Other Choice is just a top 2025 film, so you guys better go check it out when it comes out on Christmas Day. I know they're doing a couple of advanced screenings for IMAX, so let me know if you guys had the chance to go see it on IMAX, because I am jealous if you guys did. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. I'm so grateful for all of you guys subscribing and liking, commenting. Thank you so much for engaging. It really does help my channel to grow. I'm really grateful for this cinema community here and finding all these like-minded people. You guys can also check me out on my other social media platforms at TikTok, the Awards Expert app, Letterboxd. I'm also on Instagram, and you can find me at Willow D Steele on all of those platforms. So go give me a follow and engage with me on those social platforms as well. I try to post as often as possible and leave reviews on Letterboxd for all of you guys. I'm just loving you guys, really helping me gain my passion for movies and awards. So thank you so much for just interacting with my channel. I'm really grateful. You guys have helped me grow. Like just the other day, I was like lower than 700 followers, and now I'm almost at 750 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. And make sure you hit the post notification button and that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more content that's coming out. I have so many more movie reviews and awards videos videos coming out in the next couple months. I have some pop culture videos too. I'm really, really excited. It just seems like everything is starting to heat up with the movies and award season. So make sure you don't miss out. Thank you guys so much for watching my No Other Choice review. Like I said, please give it a like if you guys enjoyed it and let me know what your thoughts are on No Other Choice in the comments. I always love having a conversation with you guys. So thank you so much for the engagement and I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, keep getting lost in film. Bye!